Parapeeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. Let's Talk Paranormal Live. I am your host, Sean Donnelly.
I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
I forgot to take a breath before I started doing that. I ran out of air. How's everybody doing today? I put a thing in chat. We started like 20 minutes before the show. The chat started going. I was talking back and forth, and I put a thing out in chat. Let us know in chat something new you're doing, during this time we're spending at home. Something new.
Okay.
Do you have something new?
I don't.
No, you're not doing anything
I'm not
new.
doing anything new.
I am.
I know you are.
But
I'm not doing anything new. I'm literally just doing schoolwork.
yeah, same thing. Over
Same
and
old,
over.
same
I
old.
guess you did something. Well, it wasn't kind of new. You've done it before, but you did it today.
What's that?
I got a haircut.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've had a crazy day today.
There's a couple of hairs, I think, that are standing a little
I don't
taller
know.
than
I
the
love
others.
it. It's great because I've been looking like, oh.
There's like 3 hairs that I think are longer than the others that I can see in the reflection
That's
of the light.
That's all right. We could figure that out later. It's much better. I think I lost about 4 pounds.
But you know what is new? You didn't freak out while I was doing it.
No, I didn't.
Normally
No, I
you're
didn't.
yelling at me and going, "You gotta do this faster. I can't handle this," and
Yeah.
even you noticed at the end, you're like, "How come this wasn't that bad?" I'm like, "I don't know, you didn't,
Well,
get
I don't know.
upset
I
about
didn't have
anything."
a crazy day today. I got up like 5:30. I got up and I went out and I was putting around and went on Twitter, said good morning everybody, and then you got up and then it just hit me on. I think I said to you, I need to go lay back down. I was just still exhausted.
Yeah.
And I lay down to what?
2:30, and then
No, I came out on the couch and then I fell asleep on the couch.
yeah, you came out at about 2, and then you went back to sleep till 2:30, and then you
Yeah.
finally got up and
Well, when I got up, you said you were done with all your schoolwork. Everything's caught up for today.
for today. Yeah.
And I said, well, I wanted to get my hair cut before the show. She said, well, let's do it.
Yep.
And we did it. Took a shower, and here we are.
That's right. So, let's see. We have, somebody said they started, Val said she started doing yoga in her house. And,
Well, scroll up. There's some more answers in here. I think it started out with your sister said she made that dandelion tea and lemon something.
did she make dandelion tea? I know she was making
No, dandelion
dandelion
honey. And I'm working on homemade lemon, whatever that is.
Lemon cello. Okay.
Yeah, there's been some others.
Well, you.
Deb said she was doing crafts.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And Marty's crew's doing dishes. So.
doing dishes.
No, it says he's listening, but he's doing dishes.
Oh, okay.
But hey, maybe we could just add
Yeah,
that.
I want to thank you, by the way, for my haircut because I was miserable.
You were, yeah.
I can't stand if it gets.
I know. You get depressed about it. But Joanne said that she cut Mark's hair twice, and it turned out worse the second time.
Well, I was to a point where I gave Marianne the clippers. I'm like, just cut away. I don't care. You cannot screw it up. Just keep going shorter if you have to. But you did well, and you did it quickly. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that. All right, so if you are joining us new, Sean and Marianne Donnelly, owners of PanicD.com and OurHauntedTravels.com and DarkShadowGhostStories.com. Our PanicD.com is a database of over 900 locations across the United States and territories that have paranormal claims. In the database, we document the history, ghost stories and folklore, paranormal claims, and evidence to either prove or debunk those claims. We also list where they're located and demographic information, things like that. In November of 2017, I'm sharp today. See, this is what happens when I get a nap.
I was going to say, that's what happens when you get to sleep.
In November of 2017, we started a series called Our Haunted Travels. And on our channel, where you're at right now, we feature a new location each week. At least that's what the plan is. We haven't been normal for a little
Lately.
while.
Yeah, we haven't.
We'll get back to normal.
Yeah, eventually.
Today, we're skipping game night. We've had 3 weeks of game night. We're going to skip game night and talk about a location that the video for the history and paranormal is coming out probably Tuesday. But we want to talk about our trip that we took. And Joanne was with us. And
she
if
was.
Kay Johnston comes in, she was with us. This was the first trip. I think this was even before we had the name Dark Shadow Ghost Tours.
No. We had the name Dark Shadow Ghost Tours. And in fact, in some of the pictures that are in the
Okay,
blog
so
post,
I'm wrong.
we even had purchased the bags and pens already.
But we didn't
that
have
say
t-shirts
Dark Shadow
yet.
Ghost Tours. No, we didn't have t-shirts yet.
We didn't have t-shirts yet.
Yeah.
So this was like the first. And we didn't have the little Glenn the Ghost or anything like
Right.
that. So
Right.
yeah. So we're going to share that with you. Some of that stuff.
Joanne says, we had the name.
Okay,
See?
I'm wrong. I'm so sorry. Do you want to tell the story? Well, we got 13 people here. Maybe we should do. Do you guys want to see Boris? Let's get Boris going.
Joanne
here.
said we had buttons.
We have buttons.
We did
Yes,
have buttons.
I remember the buttons.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. How? See, I changed setups here, so I don't. There we go. That's the. I think this is it. All right. So we got 14 in the room. 13 likes. Hey, let's see if we could get more. Let's see if we could double up. Boris, could you help us, please?
He said.
Alrighty.
So
Thank you for sharing.
In the time that Boris was dancing and doing his thing, I ran and I grabbed this out of the other room, and Sean's like, how'd you find that so fast?
All right, well, hold on to that a second. You need to do a roll call.
I was just going to show the button that
Okay,
Joanne was talking about.
We'll talk about the buttons.
Okay.
Go ahead.
All right, so let's see who is here. We have... Now that list looks really short compared to all the people
Yeah.
talking in there.
Well, we got
but we
12
have
people.
Desmond Donders, Happy Trails Hiking, Joanne Reagan, Lindsay Bennison, Marty's Crew, and Val, and Valkyrie. And I know that there are other people in here because I was talking to them. Let's see. Marty's Crew. I don't know. Whoever wasn't in that list, you haven't typed in enough
Say hello
time.
and we'll say hello.
So yeah,
to you.
say hello and
As you-
we'll chat back.
Okay,
Alright.
so back to the buttons.
Oh, and Joanne says, and Mark Kaiser.
Mark Kaiser. Okay.
All right.
yeah,
Lori Bryant.
Buzzard 33 was here earlier too.
Oh, okay. Nice.
All right, so one of the things that we used to do on Dark Shadow Ghost Tours is when we went to the location, everyone for part of their ticket got a T-shirt, and they got a badge or a button or something, kind of like commemorating the date of when we went. Those have the dates on them, don't they? Or no?
Some of them have the dates on them. Some of
Yeah.
them don't.
And then it got to be like, okay, we got too many of these.
Yeah, so we stopped doing them. But yeah, some of them have the dates on them. Like here's Hillview has the date on it.
Oh, Deb Shane's here.
Deb
Says
Shane,
on there.
hello.
Okay.
But yeah, this is the one that we had for Zoar that day we went to Zoar. I don't know how well that's showing up. It's not showing up well at all, but that's the...
No, but that was kind of a cool thing that,
Yeah.
that we started. And then as people came back and we
got
did the
to-
badges and stuff,
they
they
got
got
to
to add them
add
to
to
their lanyards.
lanyards.
And,
Yeah,
yeah, that was fun.
yeah.
And then we kind of quit doing that. Could you imagine that having these now 340 buttons in different
Yeah, that
places we've been?
would
No,
be
that wouldn't
ridiculous. Yeah.
work. That'd be heavy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heavy. So last week we didn't have any videos. I
Yeah,
didn't
you
get
got-
Zoar done.
Yeah, you got kind of busy midweek.
Yeah, last week was crazy. Like we've said this a couple times. We thought, okay, well, being at home, we're gonna have time at home. We could get caught up and get ahead and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No, not the case. Doing remote education is quite time consuming
That it
for
is.
both of us. You're running your classes, and I'm supporting the teachers and staff. So it's crazy. But and plus, the internet is it's slower because it's saturated by everybody being at home, being on the internet, and some of the stuff I have to remote into the school, and it's just like dead slow. So, yeah. Well, hey, we're going with the flow.
That's right.
We got Boris back there. We have a red background, which was picked by the people before we went on. So, hey, all's good. And I have a haircut.
That's right. And we
Why
have
do you keep looking at me?
presents.
Is there a bug on me or something?
No, there's just pieces
Okay.
of your hair. little pieces of your hair that I
One
chopped
thing
off.
before we get started, I want to show this. This is, they sent me this picture on Facebook.
Okay.
Yep, there it is. Okay. Yeah, so this is Joanne and Mark's house. They had us up on the big screen TV waiting for her.
Yeah, he sent me a message on Facebook, and I just happened to have it open, and I'm like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "Oh, does that mean it's time for me to go and comb my hair and make myself look presentable?" Oh dear.
So we did get some. We got some things from people, and
That's right.
we forgot to mention last time and the time before last. We got something from Happy Trails Hiking. We'd like to show it to you, but it's gone.
Yeah, we ate it.
It was an edible arrangement, and it edibly disappeared. But
Yes.
thank you very
So
much.
thank
It was
you.
very delicious. We
Yes.
had it for dessert a couple nights, and
Yeah.
yeah. And another thing we got from Art Morbid Frank over there. We got a sticker from Frank. So yeah, forgot to mention.
Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Both of
it.
you. Appreciate it.
Yes.
To talk with us today. Yes, I am excited to talk with people other than.
Now watch your wording. But Lori does like your wording, though. She said, edibly disappeared, LOL.
It edibly disappeared. It didn't last very long,
No.
but
Yeah.
it was quite delicious.
Yes.
Yeah, our show. We're just we're not on. We don't have a. I guess we do have one thing, but we can't find it. It's here.
Yes.
We have a book that we purchased when
And
we were there called
I'm
The
usually
Ghost.
so good
The
at
Ghost of
finding stuff.
Zoar,
Yeah.
and I've seen it.
I saw it within the last month or so,
It's
and I
somewhere.
can't find it anywhere now.
It's probably back on the shelf, is why we can't find it.
That could be.
But that's part of the collection, The Ghost of Zoar.
Right.
So this location, Zoar Village, we're going to talk more about the history and the paranormal stuff in that video that's coming out. But basically, it was a communal village, German separatists, and it's now ran by. I think it's not. It's not completely by the Ohio Historical Society because they have their own society
Right.
too. But they are paranormal friendly.
Yes, they are.
So the trip that we took was actually the ghost tour that they put on. So it was the people from the Zoar village that was actually walking around and telling us about the paranormal claims and things like that. And what was unique about it, we had a psychic with us, and we had we were 2 years into the paranormal, so I had some equipment with me, and it was fun. This sparked off the whole Dark Shadow Ghost Tours thing. Now, do you want to tell a story on how Dark Shadow Ghost Tours came about?
My sister and Sean went swimming.
Yes, we had a family meeting in the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Hey, Kay Johnson's here.
Well, she was on the trip too.
D90.
Well,
Ready?
hello, guys.
How are you doing? Yeah. So one summer, so this would have been the summer of 2012, right? Roughly.
Ish.
We're in the swimming
Yeah.
pool. And hey, it would be kind of cool to take people to these places that we're going to.
Mm-hmm.
We could probably get a bus, take some people. We were talking about, do we do a follow thing or take a bus? Because in this case, it doesn't start till night, and Zoar Village is about an hour and a half from here. So if you're walking around all night and you're doing all this stuff, you really don't want to drive home, and you can't expect people to get hotels and things like that. So we thought taking buses, and that's what kind of sparked off Dark Shadow Ghost Tours.
That's right.
It was a fun time.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, we got up to taking 50 people to places on a big charter bus, and those were nuts.
They were.
That was
Very
too much.
stressful.
I like
but-
the smaller groups.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know we've mentioned it before. I know that I've mentioned it on the show. I always felt like I needed to make sure everybody had a good time. So I didn't enjoy the events, as far as going to places. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, we
that
were
I
putting
wanted
on a
to.
show.
Yes. And you
so
had
we
to
didn't
make
really get to
sure
relax, enjoy
that
it. But
everything went smoothly.
the fun part about them was the pre-trips. Those were fun.
Yeah.
Like we would go to the location ahead of time, so we knew the layout of the building or something like the Mansfield prison. We would go take a day trip. Actually, Joanne was with us on. She was with us on most
of the beginning
Hillview
ones. Yeah.
Manor, Mansfield trip. So those were fun.
Yeah.
But then you're right. When you have a large group and you got to keep all the T's crossed and the I's dotted.
That's right. It's just not quite as fun.
Yeah. But
it is.
It is what it is. It is what it is. Chalk it up.
Joanne says that she enjoyed those too, and then nursing. Yeah.
So, what we're talking about, we've had this blog post out there for a long time. Actually, it was on our older blog site, and it got moved over. Find it. There we go. And this is actually a picture right there of the hotel. Mm-hmm. This was in 2012, so I don't even know what it looks like now. They could have worked on it and renovated it and cleaned it up, but when we were there, I don't think you could go inside it.
Yeah,
we went in the basement.
We were only able to go in the basement. The interior had been having some issues, and they didn't really let people in. Now they supposedly are opening it up on certain days that people can go in, but it's not like open all the time.
So this is actually on, I could drop the link, but I didn't send it to you. This is actually on ourhauntedtravels.com. If you just do a search for Zoar, this blog post comes up. What are you doing? Oh, you're typing in ourhauntedtravels.com.
Yeah, I literally had it open and I just closed it, so
I didn't put the link to it in there.
It's
but,
okay.
Yeah, this has been out there for a while. So now I'm going to go back and add this live stream plus the other video to this one.
All right.
So
why don't you go ahead and tell him some things? And, there's that picture. He's showing the picture right now that proves that we had a name, because we even had the logo and the bag and everything.
Where? Yeah, it is on the bag.
I know.
You're right. Those are the bags we had with the logo.
I know.
Yeah. So actually right there is... you can't see my mouse, but the person holding the red flashlight right there, that's Joanne. And then to the left of her, that's actually my mom. That's Kay.
That's right.
So the guy in the middle is actually Mark Cole. He's one of our...
show sponsor. Or...
Supporters.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he went along with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This was in the basement of the... Store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, not the hotel, but the basement of the store.
Mm-hmm.
And this is entitled, this blog post is entitled Orbs of Plenty. Now, orbs are very controversial in the paranormal field. You know, a lot of people say, they're dust and lens flare and things like that. So that's actually like the basis of this blog post, explaining that we were picking up orbs along with other paranormal experiences, like the K2 meter going off at the same time, or people having weird feelings and things like that. Yeah, so this one here, you see all those orbs in there, that's probably dust. This is after we were down there for a while and we're kicking things up.
Mm-hmm.
We got stuff going on?
No, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
And then this is behind the store, right? Yeah. This is how they used to...
the milking area.
Yeah, process their cheese and churn their butter and things like that, which was one of the big industries that they had, was the dairy processing. And they used to use these troughs to pour the milk in and things like that.
All right, Keely 5 or Keely V is here. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. What else you got?
I forget where this was. This was the
laundry.
Yeah, the laundry area. And this is kind of showing like orbs, how they look when they're picking up like flare off of windows and stuff, and how they move. Like just the position of the camera. Although that one right there is kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys can see that. I wish I could you can see my pointer. Do you see the one actually?
Pretty close to mid-screen by the blue dress with the white.
I'm pointing at it.
Top.
Can you see me pointing at it?
No, they can't.
No.
Keely says, I love this style of those houses back then. Yes.
Yeah. Now this house right here was the creepy one.
Yeah.
You said not so much so, but I
Yeah.
think it was.
I don't remember it being like feeling creepy or anything, but I do remember having issues with focusing the camera upstairs.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it felt creepy or anything.
So the way they built their houses and
The buildings in general.
the buildings in general,
Yeah.
right? And I think you talk about this in the history.
Mm-hmm.
They named them by the number in which they built them. So this was the first building that was built, so it's named the number 1 house.
Yeah. Which I find it very interesting that this is the first building. I mean, it's a pretty substantial building.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's brick. It's, not like what I would have expected them to have as their first building. I would expect like a little, wooden shack type thing to be the number 1 house, and it wasn't. But this was the guy who was the leader of the whole community. This was his house. So,
well, it started out like a communal gathering building, and then it eventually did become his house or his mansion, whatever. And it was a meeting house and things like that too. But in this building, some of the experiences that we had was first, and this sticks in my mind all the time, was the feeling like, oops, sorry about that. I had some sort of notification come up. Was the feeling like the air conditioner kicking on, and then a lot of people were reporting that, like these breezes, but we didn't hear anything. And I asked the tour guide, why do you have the air conditioning on? It's October. Why is, and, well, we don't. So it kind of felt like these breezes flying around, which is crazy. And then down in the basement, we smelled pipe smoke down in the basement. And then eventually the tour guide admitted that who'd you say, what was his name?
Bemler
or something like that.
Bemler?
He actually smoked a pipe, and this was his house. So, and plus the K2 was just crazy. At some points it would spike up to 5 and then drop down, and it would respond to communications and things like that. So yeah, that place was here it is, Bemler, Joseph Bemler.
Coffin Crew is here, and so is Rachel Robson.
Hello.
So welcome to you guys too.
I'm going through this fairly quickly. We're almost halfway through the show, and I'm about done with this. But they still have this tour. I did check, and
when
I want
they're
to go
open.
back.
When they're open. Right now, everything's
of course
pretty,
when they're open.
Everything's pretty well closed down right now, including the entire village, except for people who live there, of course.
I think if we go back, we might do like a video type update with
that sounds
some
good.
music or something, because we don't have video from here. This was in 2012. I don't think we took any video back then. Very rarely did we.
No. Like occasionally with my camera, it was that camera that took that little tiny one, stills and the video. I think the one that we used when we went to Zoar was my waterproof one. I think it was Olympus.
Yeah. So, if you look at this is the basement of that building where they put like, I don't know, what is that, like a white coat over the brick?
Like a whitewash.
Yeah,
type.
the whitewash
Yeah.
type thing.
Yeah.
But
Keely says, I love her jacket.
these buildings were definitely built to last.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
So that's just a picture of a spider web.
Yeah.
There was something with that window. I don't remember what it was. They see faces or something in that window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, see, we kind of debunked that because that's older original glass. When you'll get that kind of
streakiness.
yeah,
and because
hazing in that
remember, science lesson, glass is actually a liquid.
Yeah.
And so even though traditionally we look at a piece of glass and go, that's solid, it's not. It's actually liquid. It's just very, very viscous. And so over
What's that
time,
word?
viscous. Yeah, and over time,
You
it
smiled when you said that.
slowly, will allow gravity to pull on it. And so old windows, if you look, the top is always thinner than the bottom if they're those original ones, because of course it has been flowing down for maybe a century or more. And a lot of times you'll see waves and streakiness in those windows, and sometimes those can give rise to people believing that they see a face in them.
So I think here's what we'll do. We got 18 people watching right now. If this place is opened up again in October, if you guys can find your way to Central Ohio, we'll organize a tour here at Zoar Village, and we'll take everybody with us and go on a ghost tour. If you guys want to come with us, what do you think? That would be fun.
Yeah. So long as everything's
you just got to make your way to Zoar, Ohio, just outside of Columbus.
All right. They're all like, I would go. All right. Yeah, so long as everything's opened back up again, that's not an issue.
It will be eventually.
Well, it will be eventually. It's just, we'll have to wait and see.
The thing about Zoar, it's not one building.
Right.
We went into how many different buildings? 6? We walked around the whole town, and they told us about, and it was a combination of history and paranormal. Well, here's how they used to do their dairy products and blah, 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 blah. And by the way, there's claims, like even at the gardens, I'm going to show pictures, there's a claim of a gentleman looking for his brother who passed away in the Civil War at the gardens, and they tell you this stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. So a lot of times you go on a ghost tour, it's either, okay, I was on a tour once and this person said blah, that's like the whole tour. It's like, okay, whatever. Or another time you go and it's all history, it's like not paranormal stuff. This one has a combination of both, and those are my favorite.
Yeah, so Desmond's Donders and Lindsay Venison said that they are going to have to get passports and start a GoFundMe to come on over. They would definitely come.
Well, there you go. You got time. See if I can make this bigger.
Okay.
Maybe.
There you go. It's bigger.
A little bigger.
A little bit.
So I'm just going to let this run for a little bit. This is at the gardens. Okay? Now, it wasn't raining. We were there. It was a little bit colder. Okay? Because it was October.
Right.
Which, when it is a little bit colder, your insects are cut down a little bit. Mm-hmm. This was out in the garden, so it kind of cuts down on dust a little bit because we're walking through the grass. And then you see the multiple, that one picture that has the multiple. Now, some of these, like that one there, is the lights off in the distance, and you could tell by the streaks there, the camera moved. But some of these have some light emitting from them, which is interesting none the least. Are they all spirits? No. Could some of them be spirits? Possibly. When you start putting in a combination of, you're picking things up on the K2 meter, people are having strange feelings that they're being watched, there's been reports there of apparitions, and you put all that together, who's to say that they're not? But there are those say, no, this is the camera, and that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. That's fun. That one right there is kind of
yeah.
That one right there. So, do you want to say something about him?
Well, that gentleman right there, he passed away 2 years ago now.
Yeah, that was Jim.
Yeah. And that was his wife that was on the screen with him. They were good friends of ours that we met through the wedding network that we belonged to. And
Jim was actually...
He's kind of missed.
He had an interesting career. He would go in and sell companies. That's what he did as a career. And when he retired, he was a limo driver. Jim, the limo driver.
Yep. He did he drive us on any of our? I think he just took us on a Christmas event once.
Yeah, he drove the van and the limos that we took, but he didn't.
But
drive the buses.
he just came with us.
But he was very into the paranormal.
Oh, yes.
He went on most of our trips that we took.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll see him in other pictures
Yeah.
of trips that we had.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a great guy.
And actually, his wife has had some claims that she's made since he passed away that leads her to believe that he is hanging out, watching over her. So.
All right, I will leave this slideshow run. And that's pretty much all I have about the trip, unless you want to add to it.
Well, like you said, it's, an evening thing. So by the time you get there, a lot of daytime things will be closing, and, there's not like a ton of things for you to do in the town besides this, when you get there.
Yeah, you almost want to do like a twofer, like go during the day and then maybe go have dinner and
then come back.
chill out, and then come
Yeah.
back and do the night one.
Yeah, because...
Now that guy right there, let me go back. I was watching your screen, so
Oh, okay.
this guy.
Okay.
This guy right here is Mark Cole's boss for American National Insurance. He actually lives in Zoar Village. Remember we went to his house?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, it stopped.
Yeah.
Kept going. And is that your bottle up there?
Yeah.
You want to grab that bottle? We do have an item that could go into the thing. That's not in there yet. I'll tell you a little story about this. I don't know, Mary or Joanne or Mom, if you remember this.
Oops! I just dropped all your new toys.
That's all right. Lonnie was with us too on this.
What's
tour. Yeah. So, I forget his name though.
I don't remember it either. I just called him his boss.
Yeah. Mark Cole Agency kind of was a sponsor of the trip to kind of help pay for the bus and things.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is we went to his boss's house before we left. And he had like coffee and cookies and stuff for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So he had a building that he bought that was a former funeral home, right?
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't in Zoar. It was somewhere else.
Yeah.
And in the attic of there, he found all of these bottles. These. Here, I'll go back to main screen here.
Okay.
There you go.
So he had all these bottles.
So he found all these bottles, and he thought it'd be fun. I forget how he did it. Was it a trivia thing or like an auction thing? No.
I think it was a trivia thing.
Yeah, it was a trivia thing. He was going to give away these bottles. Well, Marianne was like chomping at the bit. She wanted one very, very bad.
But I was running the tour, so it's not like I could like play for it,
So the bus driver actually won it.
Yeah. And he didn't want it.
Yeah. Well, no, he wanted it.
He didn't want it that bad.
He wanted money for it. So I kind of pulled him aside and made a deal. So my wife got an extra little tip for pre-injection fluid in actual bottle. Was there a date on it?
I wanted to say it was 1800s-ish. I don't see the date.
Was it trivia? I think it was trivia. It was something.
Joanne said trivia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was, embalming fluid pre-injection material, and anyway, we gave the bus driver a very nice tip that night.
Yeah, he got a very nice tip.
And he gave me my new bottle. Yeah. So, that's right, Desmond's daughters. It is not from eBay.
That is not an eBay. That is
not,
actually out of a funeral home.
That's
authentic.
Right. Yeah. From right here in Ohio.
Yeah, this was actually
Just
from
be gentle on the label.
the Embalmer Supply Company in Westport, Connecticut is where this came from.
Yeah, but it was from a building in Ohio where it was.
The disclaimer on the side says, "We guarantee that the fluid complies with all the legal requirements of the law pertaining to the embalming and shipping of dead bodies. It does not contain any arsenic, mercury, zinc, silver, lead, copper, chloral, or any poisonous what's that word? Alkaloids?
Good job.
I can't see it too good. And is what is known by the term of approved embalming fluid. There you go.
Thank you, dear. Giving me my bottle back.
She was happy. So that made my wife happy.
Yeah. Joanne says, Mark said he's not surprised about this, but thinks he could have probably snuck the bottle out for me.
Yeah, where were you, Mark? Thanks. Nah, it probably cost what you would pay for that on eBay. Probably. I would assume.
Probably. Maybe.
As long as it doesn't get broke.
That's right. It stays on the shelf over there. And
got to get pictures of it and get it in the museum.
Yeah.
So as you see, some of these pictures that we have out there, which you guys have access to as well. You know, if you go through the blog post and you click more pictures, this comes up. But you see a lot of them are out of focus, and this is what people were having problems with, was the camera focusing.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kay says that Lonnie's trying to chat but doesn't know how. He wants him to sign into Google.
Yeah, you have to sign in. You have to have a Google account to chat.
Yeah.
Well,
Joanne says that was 4 years before Mark.
4 years before Mark.
4 years before him. Wow, that's crazy.
I can't believe it's been that long. 2012. It's been 8 years.
Yeah.
It was like it was almost yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so this week you will have the video out.
Yeah, talking about the history of how the village came about.
Some of the paranormal claims.
Well, a lot of the paranormal stuff. There's some really crazy things. That's what my hang up is getting him to do his recordings. He's been cranky.
Maybe it's because you were playing with Dracula instead of him.
It could be.
Yeah.
He's jealous.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So, do you have anything else for this location? Want to do a little history?
No, I want him to... Oh, yeah, do today in history. Some of the events.
All right. So, there were a couple of things that I had wanted to mention. One was that it was today in 1775 that Paul Revere and William Dawes ride from Charleston to Lexington, warning that the regulars were coming. So that was today. And in 1906, let me find that one. 1906 was the great earthquake in San Francisco, and you don't have this page, so you can't show it to them. But this one was one that was photographed they took photographs during the earthquake, and there was a guy, and his camera got all messed up. All his cameras were messed up because some concrete and things had fallen on it. So he went to the shop that he liked to go and buy equipment from, and
Pocket.
Oh crap, hold on. Anyways, he was, I gotta put the right pocket button.
That's it. You don't have to type anything.
Oh, I don't?
No.
Alright.
Go ahead, keep talking.
Anyways, so he went into this camera shop that he liked to go to and get supplies, and he said, "Hey, is there any way that you can let me borrow one of your cameras? I really want to take some pictures of this." And the guy's like, "Take anything you want. It's all gonna, burn up. It's all gonna go down. So take whatever you want." So the guy took a camera, the best camera that he could find, and film, put them all in his pockets, and he goes out and he starts taking pictures of the devastation as it's happening. And there's pictures, and the pictures show the people just kind of standing around watching it happen. And from his reports that he made, as the devastation would get closer, they would just back up another block and sit and watch it. They would literally sit in the
They
chairs.
just kept moving back as
they would
he was
just
taking pictures.
go back another block. Just go back another block. And so in his pictures,
look at the guys
you'll see
sitting there in
people
chairs.
just sitting there in chairs watching all of the smoke and everything from all of the crashing buildings and the fires that were starting up because of it. And so his photos became very famous for that, because they're like, was this in a movie? You just see people sitting around watching stuff. Was this in somebody's movie? And they're like, no, this was like the real thing. So I thought that was kind of cool. What do you got for chat? Anything?
Something about an organ. Where's it? Did I miss a picture?
I'm not sure.
Oh, the organ maybe from the pictures.
Okay. And then there was another one from today that I kind of wanted to mention, and it was from 1955. Let me find 1955. It is the
Lindsay says you can't teach stupid.
yeah. There it is. So the very first walk, don't walk lighted street signs were installed in 1955 today, but I don't know where that was at. So if anybody knows where that was at, where they installed the first lighted street signals. Yes, 1955. The lighted walk, don't walk signals were kind of put in. Yeah. So I thought those were kind of cool for a little bit of history for today. And I want to say there was one other thing for coming up. Oh, it's not today. It's on April 20th, which is Tuesday. It was the very first motor race for cars. The first car motor race happened on the 20th this week in history. And it was, let me see, no champagne celebration. George Boughton won the first motor race. But he didn't get it. They weren't getting anything real exciting out of it. It wasn't even a true car. It was a steam-powered quadricycle.
Valkyrie says, nobody listens to those signs here in Philly. You know what? They don't listen to them in Miami either, so they're just guidelines. They're just guidelines. Yeah. Stop. Yeah. Don't stop. Who cares?
So that was in 1887, by the way.
Tanya Lambert says, I wanted to say hello, can't stay long. Well, hello.
Well, hello. All right, so that's what I kind of wanted to share about the history stuff for today.
All right, so next Saturday we're going to go back to game. Think we'll have that game ready?
Maybe. I wanted to just do it, on the fly today, but you didn't want to do it on the fly.
No, not quite ready. We're going to do some sort of game next week about serial killers.
Yeah.
We have like this card game, but we'll get to figure out how we could do it on a live stream. So
Joanne says it was in Westminster, London. So I'm assuming that is from the first street light that I asked them to look up. And yes, Happy Trails did mention Earth Day is the 22nd, which is this week also, and it is the 50th anniversary of that. And
so share with them your assignment that you did for forensics for Earth Day. You were telling me this as we were cutting my hair, or
yeah.
So getting de-haired or something.
Yeah. So I wanted to do activities for Earth Day with my kids this week, and so one of the things was my forensics class, and I'm like, okay, let's see what I can find. So I Googled Earth Day murders, because I thought, there's bound to be some, Earth Day fanaticist who, ticked somebody off and somebody whacked them, right? So as it turned out, there's a guy known as the Unicorn Killer, who he's also sometimes known as the Earth Day Killer, because he lied, I guess, and told people that he was the one who came up with Earth Day. And there's a picture of him at the first Earth Day celebration in Philadelphia. And he's up on the podium, and he's kind of, like this. And his name is Ira Einhorn. And he he 8 years later, he got in a little tiff with his girlfriend, and she came to get her stuff, out of the house, and he apparently killed her. And
allegedly.
Well, he was convicted.
He was convicted, so he did
twice.
Okay, so then it's not apparently. It actually happened. There's no allegedly about it.
His neighbors.
This is fact.
His neighbors started complaining about smells coming out of the house.
Oh, okay, you don't have to get that graphic, but all right.
And so police eventually came. Police eventually came, found his girlfriend's mummified remains in a trunk in his closet, and so he ended up getting arrested for her murder. And his original lawyer was Arlen Specter, and so he got him out on bail, and he skipped town, and he left the country, and they went on with the trial without him. And so he was convicted the first time around with him not even being present in the courtroom, and they were refusing to extradite him back to the United States, and there was all kinds of legal battles and things that went on for it. And eventually he did get extradited back to the U.S. They had a new trial for him. They made sure that was part of the extradition, was that they would make him a new trial, and he got convicted again. But my lesson for the kids was they have to look up Arlen Specter, his first lawyer, and try to figure out why was he important in the world? What kinds of things did he do? So, because he was a very famous person himself. So, Earth Day murder.
All right.
Happy Trails Hiking says, I am sorry I mentioned Earth Day. Joanne says, thanks guys. Mark's finding all the pics now of the murdered girlfriend and Ira. Let's see what else. So, yeah.
All right, that's a way to fill some time.
But hey, it ties together next week's items, right? And this week in history. It's like all connected.
Okay. All right. So look at that. They didn't even have a structure, and we had the history, and we had the forensics tied into it.
That's right.
Even had your collection item.
Had my collection item.
Just didn't do it in the right order, but...
Yeah, but we had it all.
Happens.
We had it all.
Yeah.
You just were really excited to push into the topic of the day and kind of squelched all the norm stuff. But it's okay.
Yeah.
We got it in
just
anyway.
Mixed it around a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see here. There was something that I saw in the chat. I have to go back and see. Something about her neighbor's cat is a serial killer.
Yeah. That Kelly V says, my neighbor's cat's a serial killer, and Happy Trails Hiking asked if it was for mice, and her reply was, no, lizards. Plenty of them in Florida.
Nice.
There is a lot of lizards in Florida. A lot.
Yeah.
Lizards.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's pretty much it. We're going to wrap it up. Right?
Okay.
So Tuesday we're going to definitely have the video about Zoar. It will be done.
It will be done.
It will be out.
Boris, get to work.
Thursday we might do something, depending on how busy you're going to get this week.
We'll see.
We may do something with Lizzie.
We will?
Might talk about that trip.
Okay.
People have been asking in the comments. They want to know more about that trip. That she took.
Okay. All right.
Okay. And
All right.
Saturday we will definitely be back with game night.
Okay. Serial killer game night.
Serial killer. Guess the serial killer. No, we'll do some true and false or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
Stuff about serial killers. We'll ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be game night 4 SK edition.
Oh, you're not going to put the words on the screen,
see
huh?
if we can keep the monetization. Doubt it. I doubt it, but we'll see what happens.
All right. Keely says, I love talking about stories like, for example, vampires and headless horsemen and reading true history before Hollywood got it. Lottery of Life. Hello. anything else for the good of the order? Anybody have anything else for today?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
I think we're done.
All right.
All right, folks, we want to thank you all for coming and joining us. We have our older intros and outros because I got to go in and fix this, but that's okay. Who cares? Get the point. But anyways, thank you for coming by and watching us make some fools of ourselves and having some fun. Please continue to be safe. Stay at home. Just stay at home. If you can, do it.
Yeah.
If you can't, be safe.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it for today.
All right, folks. Till next time.
Thanks for watching.
And happy hunting. Let us know if you like this video by hitting that thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, support our channel by hitting that subscribe button and dinging that bell so you get notified the next time there's a video from Panic D Videos.
Thanks for watching.
Happy hunting.